Hey guys, welcome back to Zethythonix channel. Today we are building the MG F90 Mars type. I'm not sure how people know about this F90, but for me, I didn't learn this F90 from manga or novel. I learned it from the STG generation world. There's a crossbone stage that has F90 Mars type as the third breaking world wave. The first time I looked at it, my honest reaction is, how can a Gundam felt so weird? It doesn't have an antenna, it has one spike and one normal shoulder, and it has a lame grenade attack animation. 11 years later, I saw the news of the release, and my first thought is, how is this F90 a P-Bandai release? Compared to my younger self, I love this design as I looked at it more. This Gundam represented the Zeon elements so well. The spike shoulder and grenade elements of Zaku, the beam machine gun is that of a beam rifle, and no antennas. The colors are great, and more importantly, it's a simple design. I guess the more you build designs with complicated structure or a fancy backpack, you really start to appreciate the simple designs. It's a stupid decision that this is P-Bandai, but we can definitely tell it was supposed to be regular release. The box art is definitely lame, it's very early 2000s feel, but let's take a look at the side before the runners. Since it's a well-planned change of mind from Bandai, so although it was meant to be regular release, F90 Mars doesn't have the page where it has brief explanation of the battle records, which is kinda sucks because not a lot of people willing to read manga, so the explanation is probably the best way to make people learn. I don't know why they decided to remove that page despite MG F90 kept it, but here we are, a regular release format with the battle records and MS Tech explanation. The build is very straightforward as F90 Mars is not a fancy design. As most of the parts are showing, F90 Mars will rely on undergate design to complete most of the detail colors. Again, it requires the same thing like MG Mark II 2.0, which is cutting the wire and mesh pipe by yourself. It's very messy, but try your best to avoid loose ends. Other than those easily seen features, we'll save the rest for the review. Before we move on to the review, I would like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Gunplaist. Gunplaist is an eBay store located in Australia. They have a fair price when it comes to rare Gunplayers or action figures. They have more than regular and P-Bandai. They also have Gundam-based exclusives and comes with a lot of choices. Even if you're not into Gundam, they have other series too to fill up the gaps. Recently, it's the end of year sale and it's a perfect chance for you to visit their website. Get yourself a nice gift to start the fresh year. Right now, they're running a promotion on eBay and offered free shipping for Australia orders. If you want to know more about this online store, visit their website and eBay store using the links in the description. Now getting back to the review. Hey guys, welcome back to the MG F90 Mars type review. So this is the finishing of it. If you're looking for a build with fancy looks or a detailed surface, this MG is not on your list for sure. It's very close to the line art and sticked with the original drawings. So unlike other popular MGs, F90 Mars type doesn't have any design changes to fit the larger group. However, despite I like the idea of keeping the originality, it's too bland and I do suggest a bit of panel line carving. What you're seeing now is after the waterside decals are on. Without them, it's line art accurate and maybe a lot of people won't be a fan of it. It's a fast and easy build. I changed a bit of color to make the overall finish better, since the build is very easy and the parts are already separated for you. If you want to use this kit as the learning step for painting. It's easy to pick up. If a person like myself can custom a bit of part on this, you can do this too. You can even do it better than me. We'll start the review straight away. Is a standard build, so it comes with standard introductions too. Leftovers does exist for this MG since it shares a lot of parts with Gundam F90. We are left with some useful parts for customization. You'll get some parts for the backpack, waist, legs, and ankle armor. Feel free to reuse them. I don't customize, so they are useless for me. Without the decals, it's pretty bland, so I decided to put them on for a better video performance. Luckily, the decals on F90 Mars type are mostly small and easy to stay in place, so after the top coat, the risk of damaging them is lower. However, the decals on the knees are lazy designs. Bandai already did undergate for most of the servers, but they refused to print 2 more pieces for the knees. You have red and yellow in the box. Printing 2 more pieces won't hurt your machine. The triangle on the knees are decals, which is fine if they actually stayed in place. The problem is that the triangle decals are so unstable. You can see that even with Mark Settler is not working and I have to glue them in the end. This is just lazy design. It could have been flawless. As the usual drill, we'll start from the head. The design purpose of F90 Mars type is to represent Mars Zeon. So the traditional Gundam head design is mostly gone. Not even the 2 lines on the face was kept. As you can see, it doesn't have an antenna. The only thing close to the original F90's head is the pair of Vulcan gun. The structure is very well done for this MG as it uses no stickers. The eyes and sensors are all separated by parts. If we get more designs like this, maybe a full part colored MG is not far away. As for the articulations, moving up and down is excellent thanks to the extra neck joint. Turning a 360 is easy as there's 0 obstacles. Since F90 Mars type is one of the late UZ designs, so instead of a sharp edge design, it's rounder and no edges. The details on the chest is equal to Robo Damashi's anime line. The only considerable detail is the chest vents. You can at least see some net linings. Another notable detail is on the clavicle. You'll see 2 pipes, but those 2 spots are the real details that you can find. The backpack is a small backpack, only 2 thrusters and a beam saber. Because it's all in one color, so to make it more interesting, I made the thrusters silver. The thrusters are connected by ball joint, so it does have a bit of movements. You got 1 beam saber on the backpack. You also have 2 effects to use, so feel free to curve one. Just like the normal MG standard, the cockpit door can open, just is quite hard to grip onto, so borrow some tools. As for the articulations, front and back is a double joint, which gives you a good range. Swinging side to side is from the waist frame. It's not much, but you won't use it that often anyway. Rotation is only 45 as the side torso armor will bump into the waist, but the limited range of articulations doesn't really affect the posing though. F90 Mars type is not a typical Gundam design. It inherits the special elements of Zeon. As you can see, we have 1 normal shoulder and a spike shoulder. I paint the spikes because white spikes are just ugly. Unlike the F90, you cannot remove anything from the shoulder as the original settings of the F90 Mars type doesn't include hard points. Despite the design difference, the shoulders got their own joints to lift them up. Since it's the same formula series, so the arms designs are very close to F91. Different than F91, F90 series doesn't have beam shields, so the 4 arms are supposed to be hard points, but since Mars type removed that design, so the 4 arms are just appearance with no functionality. Let's check out the movements. The 360 spin is very easy and tight. Lifting is alright as the joints are designed to avoid any interruption. Swing your front and back is there too. The whole arm can rotate too, but it felt quite loose, so I wouldn't keep trying it. Just like the MG F90 2.0, the forearm got an extra joint for rotation too. For the bending, it's touching the shoulder for sure. As for the hand options, this time is 4-finger swap design. You got fist hands, open hands, trigger hands, and beam saber hands to choose. Besides 1 beam saber, it got a beam machine gun. This machine gun is plain gray. I think it's too boring and there's some quick recoloring. I recolor the middle cylinder to red, just pretending it's the energy tank. Then the silver recolors for the barrels. If you don't do anything, it's plain gray with 0 features. The waist is square design like most of the standard Gundams from UZ due to the undergate designs used on the waist, so the overall appearance is very complete. One thing to be careful about is the 2 yellow circles at the bottom of the front skirts. They fell out quite easily, so just glue them. The front skirts are ball joints, but it can move a solid close to 90 range. Side skirt is 2 simple pieces with an undergate design. It does have 2 anti-MS grenades each side, but just like the Saku Phantom that I reviewed a year ago, these grenades are just decorations. The side skirts are limited when it comes to movement, but it's not a huge matter anyway. Back skirt is fixed. You will see 2 spots in the middle. You can put an extra part on it to store the rifle. The legs are the exact reason why people tell you colors really matters. Without these yellow and red colors, it's plain and wouldn't look as good as now when it comes to appearance. The best part of this MG is the pick joint in the waist. It's not that useless and annoying swing joint. It's a normal fixed place joint. Let's take a look at the articulations. Front kick is 90, side kick is close to 90. You can ignore back kick as it doesn't exist. The knee band is a standard U-shaped band, but unlike a lot of modern MGs, Bandai didn't design it to have split armor. The back of the legs got an armor piece with movement. It's only a little bit, but you will see a yellow thruster under it. At the ankle frame, this is the part where you need to trim the mesh pipe, but as you can see, it's quite hard to stuff it correctly. You will most likely end up like this, which is the pipe just split into loose ends. The other part you need to trim is at the side of the feet. You need to trim it very precisely, as if you allow any loose ends, the parts won't combine together and will leave a huge gap. The ankle armor is connected by the side joint and a vertical movement joint, but as you can see, it's very tight and you can barely move up and down. I suggest not to move it at all, as it will definitely scratch your top coat. The whole foot can move front and back, a quite good range when it comes to side to side, but the rotation is pretty much useless. It's quite rare to see a MS with feet that aren't in one color. F90 Mars type's feet are quite colorful. Also, the bottom has some really good undergate designs that you might just missed. This is the end of the review. F90 Mars type is not a fancy suit, so the review won't be as long as the fancy and cool MS. In fact, it's so simple to the point that I think it's too standard for me to judge. I can't say it's good or bad based on plain experience. I think this time you need a bit of first impression to adjust your score. The performance is very stable, good colors, decent articulations, and pretty colorful in my opinion. For me, I like the AMG F90, F90 Unit 2, or the F92. Mars type is very boring if you're looking for the fun of swapping equipment non-stop. However, it's exactly why putting it in PB is stupid. While the other packs can arguably be PB, as the packs are very subjective collections. Not everyone wants a Gundam who says, "Mom, I'm a spaceship." The base model of F90 and including this F90 Mars type should have been regular because it lacks the element to be exclusive. It's plain and simple. If you spend more money just to buy it, it won't make you feel too worth it, as putting it in exclusive is not going to sell it. Also, putting it in exclusive will push people away from picking up and learning the MS, which is quite sad, as late usually needs more fan attention. If you ask me, is it worth it to spend a lot of money to specifically get it? No. If it's on sale or you have a good price, it won't disappoint you, as every performance of a modern MG should have is there. But for me, it's not my priority, not because I hate the design or the story. To buy or not to buy it, I think it depends on how much is it rather than the design. You can say the overseas price took away the fun. It's still a shame that F90 base models are all P-Bandai. I personally like it very much. It's the simple designs like this are perfect breaks. It prevents visual fatigue where most of the popular designs are fancy. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell next to it. Go get yourself a new present. Visit Gunplaist using the links in the description. Thank you Gunplaist for sponsoring this video. My Discord and IG links are in the description too. Feel free to donate and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.